Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Life Reawakened show. We are going to be here with Kari Alajoki here directly. Hopefully, we're having a few issues getting her connected, but I wanted to make sure that I started the call on time and also get you guys, we can do all of our little chit-chatting and saying hello and all that good stuff while Kari tries to get on the call. So who do we have here? Debbie, thank you for typing in. We got Debbie from Vancouver. Welcome, Debbie. I see hands raised. So that's awesome. If you're new here, you can hit the reaction button and you can raise your hand that way. And all right, who else do we have here? We have Barbara from Missouri, Margaret from Ottawa, Carmen from Santa Fe. We got Brussels and Belgium, and awesome. Hands are raised. All right, guys, while we wait for Kari, I would love to hear from you guys questions that you might want me to ask her. We are talking about hormones. This is a really popular topic for us, especially of a certain age. So I'm super excited to dive into this with Kari. We got Colorado, Gina. We have India, Mumbai, San Francisco, Ontario, Canada. Welcome, 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 everybody. Lots of hands are up. I know that Kari has an awesome group process planned for us today, and she's going to be doing scans as well, hormone scans for live callers. So if you would like a scan to find out what's out of whack, just raise your hand. You can hit the reaction button and raise your hand that way. Hello, Nicole from Kansas. Glad to have you here. We have Alberto, Francis, welcome. All right, guys, I have lots of questions lined up for Kari myself, but like I said, I would love to hear from you too. So if you have specific questions about hormones and how you can balance those, especially energetically, that's my big question is like, is this even possible? So I would love to hear from you guys what kind of questions you would like me to ask Kari as well. And we can do that. Let me just check in. Hello, Nicole from Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania too. Where are you from, Nicole, in Pennsylvania? I'm in State College. So right smack in the middle of the state. All right, people are still joining us. Morgantown, nice. Yes, I used to have, so it's funny because I used to be in pharmaceutical sales. Crazy, right? And I used to sell hormone replacement therapy. Crazy, right? So we're going to dive into that. But my manager was from Morgantown, Pennsylvania. So I went through there quite a bit. So awesome. It is a small world, very small world. All right, let me just check on Kari. Arizona, Dawn, welcome from Arizona. And hold on just 1 minute. I'm going to mute myself and turn off the video just for a minute, and then I'll be back. I'm going to give Kari a quick call. All right, guys, she's coming. She thought it was 11 Central, I think she is. So I'm like, no, it's right now. So she is coming. No worries. So all we could just chit chat here until she gets here, but she is coming. So, all right. Hello, Monica from Scottsdale, Arizona. Welcome. We got Arkansas, lots of Arizonas here today. So welcome. All right, guys, this is your chance. Type in your questions because Kari will be here and we'll be able to ask her those. We are talking about bioenergetic rejuvenation, radiant hormonal health for lasting vitality. Revitalize your hormones, reclaim your energy, and passion for life. So super excited personally to dive into this topic. And there she is. That was speedy.
Here we are. Here we are.
Yeah,
Well, the truth is I'm already all set. So all it requires is a click.
that's perfect.
All right.
Andrea, how long will the session be? Usually we go for about 90 minutes, sometimes a little bit over. So it just depends on how chatty all of you are. So I was just introducing the topic, Kari. So, and I'll introduce you as well because there may be a lot of people here that don't know you. So,
Yes.
uh, years ago, Kari set out to transform her life amidst the overwhelm of raising a family while navigating personal health challenges. This search led her to immerse herself in the studies of mind body science, transformational coaching, and quantum energetic healing. Through this journey of self exploration, Kari connected with her innate ability to intuitively guide others on their path toward true wholeness. Her own transformational experiences and extensive training allowed her to emerge as a confident healer coach and supportive mentor. Today, Kari's mission is to help you achieve wellness again through her pioneering quantum restorative energy approach. Kari is an expert in supporting healing at the cellular level by connecting intuitively with your body's innate ability to turn to wholeness. Kari sees healing being the product of returning the physical, mental, and emotional self to the true you, where all parts operate in harmony and coherence. So, Kari, officially welcome to the call today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's super exciting to be here. I'm really excited to get into this topic of hormones and a few different elements I'm super excited about is, talking about why it's important and how it's important and what things you might not know, some tips, all that. But of course, working in the field of energy, I love to tap into what's the energy behind it. And I like to help people understand what is the energy that they are experiencing that indicates hormone balance or imbalance for themselves. So I'm really excited to, get together with everyone and go through some of those things and help them unravel some of those. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I love it. And it's such a topic near and dear to my heart. It's been for a while, but especially now. I turned 50 last year. So it's definitely something that's very interesting topic for me. And I asked everybody to write in questions so that we can ask those as well. Because, guys, I love making these as interactive as possible and really want to make sure that I'm asking the questions that represent what's on your mind. So we'll definitely go through those as well. For me personally, and I see some questions here about skin, like I've noticed, especially since turning 50, skin issues. I have breakouts here around my mouth. I've never had breakouts before, even in my teenage years. I have dry patches. I have more rosacea than what I've had. So like skin issues are definitely something that's popping up for me, as well as the night sweats, all that good stuff. And I was telling everybody before you got here, um, funny enough, in a previous life, I was a pharmaceutical sales rep and I sold HRT. And
Oh,
I
wow.
I sold HRT right when all the cancer stuff came out with the Women's Health Initiative study. So um I didn't stay in the field long, especially because of just all the spinning, like how we had to spin the studies and all of those things when we were presenting to doctors, and it just really was not a good fit for me. Um, but it kind of guided me on my path of like, I don't want to use, HRT, and I don't, just kind of becoming more aware of what I was putting in my body. I was 20 years old, like it really at that point didn't mean much, but it definitely started that path of like questioning, like, okay, is this right? Is this not right? So I would really love to kind of tap in with you the idea of, can hormones be regulated without um intervention from Western medicine per se? And also, like uh, my follow-up question with that is, I went down the road of then like supplements, okay, like in the past year, like, okay, this person says I need this, and my supplement list is quite long. And I'm like, do I need this? Like, how do you know what the heck you need is, I guess, my question.
Yeah. I do find that people are absolutely restoring their hormone balance with this program. I never tell people they shouldn't take something else specifically. I mean, there's things that, you know, we all might recognize we would rather not take, but I don't recommend taking supplements or not supplements. Sometimes that can support the process. So if you're doing something and you want to stay doing it, stay with it until your body tells you you don't need it anymore. But energetically, yes, we can bring things back online, and your body will let you know as that transition happens for you, definitely. But I did want to ask you a question, and I was wondering if I could get everyone that's on the call to post in chat. How long, Gretchen, have you been experiencing the skin issues? I know you said since you're 50, but is that the last 2 to 3 months?
So
4 months, or what was that time frame?
and so for me, and you guys can type in the chat too, those that have asked this. For me, it started with it probably started this winter, and it started with a dullness. Like my skin started just looking really dull. Like I'm like, okay, well, obviously what I was using, like I need to change up the products that I'm using. So I changed that up, and that was beneficial. Like I saw some like life coming back into my skin, but then the dry patches and um the breakouts started. And it's more like, to me, like I think that, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's more like my skin is thinner. So like I get like I don't know how to say it, like not like blood, but like when you scratch like underneath the skin, it's more than acne. It's more like if you rub something on your skin and this red spot comes out from underneath. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what it looks like.
It does make a lot of sense. And of course, there's a reason for me asking. And the reason is that there's been a lot of people recently that have had huge hormone changes in the last 3 to 4 months.
Okay, that's
and
right.
whenever I hear more than 2 to 3 people telling me that, I'm like, okay. So not only is it, an individual's energy and what's happening in their body, and of course we want to address that, but there's also a collective experience happening. And so I was just, that's why I was asking the question. That's why I was curious, what people's personal experiences on their, or on the call here, whoever's posting in, or people that can post in, have they noticed a change in their hormones and or skin in the last 3 to 4 months? And are they having similar experience to what you're sharing? Because
Yeah,
that's
I'm seeing liver spots too.
yeah.
Liver spots. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing those sunspots, liver spots, good stuff.
And then underneath that, it's like, okay, let's tap into what is the energy behind that. What is that is experiencing? We can, of course, move that through the system. And that's going to allow for the body to come back online a lot faster. But it's just what's up. That's what you were saying, Gretchen, is what's up, what's current, what I've been hearing from clients and from people, family, friends as well. It's like, interesting. That's
Yes.
what
Have you found, or have you recognized like what is like why, the past 3 to 4 months, like what's going on?
Yes, in part. Part of it is, again, it's a collective experience. There are toxicities that are coming in, frequency / toxicity. If we look at everything as frequency, then we'll use the word frequency. If we want to look at it as like a physical, like what is that thing? Air transmissions through the air, things that we are receiving, toxicities that are causing hormonal imbalances. Applied frequencies, basically you could say stressors, right? That are creating imbalances in our emotional field. So whenever the emotional field really kind of experiences kind of an assault, there's going to be a fluctuation in hormones. And so both of those things, emotional experiences that are, it can be life change. I mean, I know you did say, of course, you've got, maybe menopause, you're reaching at those age. However, the people that I've talked with, we've shared with, they're maybe having a different life experience, and they didn't necessarily think it was a bad one. It was a change. It was a lot, but they wouldn't have thought of it. But that's just a commonality. So life change, feelings of difficulty in managing emotions, But I believe that some of that is applied frequencies that are applied to us. It's not only us in and of ourselves as individuals, as separate beings. We are part of this collective, and we are all experiencing things, and it's showing up in our life in a different way. Does that make sense? Are you following me?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. I don't know about
Okay.
everybody else, but you
Yeah.
can give us a thumbs up if that's making sense, but it makes
Yes.
sense to me.
Yes. And so that's one of the things. And then of course the applied frequencies such as heavy metals, toxicities of those types of nature coming to us through our air. Many of us are very familiar with chemtrails, all of the graphene oxides, heavy metals, aluminums,
Yeah.
so many different things that come to us. Those are having a big impact right now. I think many people also have been noticing, I would say many of you probably have noticed a feeling of a little bit of sort of heaviness in the head, in the heart center, kind of feeling of like a little bit of a grogginess, feeling not as kind of grounded and rooted as perhaps you were before. Some of that is coming from that direct experience as well. And of course, we've got, solar eclipse, there's a lot of energies around
Yeah.
that time, so there's both things happening at the same time. So it's kind of a collision course there. But anyway, these are part of what's been up lately, what's been happening for people. Hormone imbalance is like way at the top of the list. So
Yeah, and that's what, it's really interesting to me because when we were talking about, you come in, this is one of the most exciting interviews I was ready for because it really is near and dear to my heart. So when we were talking about you coming on and presenting, I think the biggest thing is, for me, and you guys can chime in as well, but it's like, how do you know what's regulating what? Like our hormonal system it's insane, right? Like there's
yes,
so many things. So, and I think that's where, and I do a lot of my own research, like I go on like this for that, but like, I don't know, like, is it my thyroid? Is it my, is it my sex hormones? Like, what is it
yeah,
that's causing
yeah,
what? How do you
yeah,
decipher, what it
yeah,
is
yeah,
without, a complete, workup? Which a
yeah,
lot of doctors aren't even going to do, right? Like, because they're not. Like, you're going to go in presenting with a certain, and they're going to test for that, and that's it.
right, absolutely. And I'm noticing some of the comments here, kind of people tracking along with what our conversations we're moving through, people noticing feelings of heaviness coming in lately. I like Amy's comment, brain no worky. We'll call that its own thing. We need a program for brain no worky coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
About it. I liked Debbie's comment on the chemtrails and the rest of the day raining and darker, crappy. She says, I actually had heard a lot of people who even traveled and they had the same experience. So it's,
Interesting.
yeah, super interesting.
And
Now,
Lynn,
go
I
ahead.
think you said here too, and I'll let you address that, but you said you can relate to everything I said, and it started 10 years ago, and mine did too, no doubt. And it started with weight for me. It started with putting on weight like it crazy. And a lot of that was emotional stuff that I had to work through and release that. And and I've done that, but now it's like, 7 years, like in this weight loss journey, I'm like, stand still,
Yeah,
like, and I eat well,
yeah,
I
yeah,
exercise daily, like all of these things. I don't necessarily always eat organic or that because it is expensive, and you got to be practical as well. But it's definitely like, oh my gosh, seriously. So I know it's all interconnected, like, and so it's like kind of weeding through it, which is why I'm so glad you're here to help us do that.
yeah. Well, I absolutely, it's just so current and present right now for people. But to your kind of question, whether it was a rhetorical or
Yeah.
whatever question, when you said, where does the person start? What actually hormones really matter? What are the hormones that really drive everything? How do we even know where to begin? If you follow along with, practitioners that do their own studies, researchers in, I would say more the alternative field, if you want to call it that. There are 4 hormones that we do want to pay primary attention to. Those are progesterone, the thyroid hormone of T3, DHEA, which is the precursor to testosterone, and pregnenolone. Those are what are considered kind of the top 4. Like, pay
Okay.
attention if those are balanced, you are likely going to be experiencing balance in your other hormones as well. But if those are off, you are likely experiencing more of a cascade effect of many other things going off track as well. So those are
they affect the other
yes, they're sort of like the main drivers, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. So, okay. So what were, somebody wants me to type those in. So tell me again.
Yes. Progesterone.
All right. Don't mind my spelling, guys. I have flunked spelling. All right. Go ahead.
Long spelling. I love it. I'll type some in here too. I've got DHEA and we've got pregnenolone.
Oh, spelling that one.
There we go. Pregnenolone, and we've got T3. Most of you are somewhat familiar with that. So we've got them. That's the 4 main hormones. And when those are balanced, you are very unlikely to have a mess of hormones outside of that. So you do want to pay attention. When it comes, well, a lot of people are conditioned to thinking estrogen, and everything's estrogen, right? Like my estrogen must be off, it must be high, it must be low. Well, the truth is, it may be high, it may be low, but what's more important is the balance between your progesterone and your estrogen. And did I actually say estrogen?
No.
And I'm like, wait a second, did I get that mixed up? Okay. So it's the balance between estrogen and progesterone that's important. It's not necessarily how high your estrogen or how low your estrogen is, but rather that balance. That's going to give a more correct story there. And it's similar to how, iron levels in the body, we might take a test to see what your iron levels are. But if you don't also check to see what your iron stores are, you may be missing a big part of the picture. Same with hormones. If you're testing only testosterone, but you're not testing DHEA, or finding out, you may be missing a big part of the program, because you can have something presenting as looking fine, but those other pieces behind it are going to tell a big part of the story too. Do you have high levels, low levels? What's happening? It's going to tell you what kind of effort your body is required to make in order to produce a healthy balance. So yes, it's a lot more about balance and relationship. No coincidence there, right?
Yeah.
Balance, relationship, life.
Yeah. So it's spells
feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, life tells a story every single time. You will never have balanced hormones, everything's wonderful, and life not working out. It doesn't work that way, never. So yes, balanced relationship at a hormonal level is kind of the telltale. It tells a story, the truth of what's happening. So those are the 4 pieces, or the 4 hormones that everyone needs to know about, everyone needs to be aware, and don't go chasing all the other ones first.
These are the first 4.
Yes, these are the first 4. Noticing these are going to be your most important areas.
And how does the hormone, like the unbalanced hormone, then affect organs and other areas of our life? Like, are there certain organs that are tied to certain, hormones, and that, then are different issues as well?
Yes. So we've got those kind of loops. I call them loops. If you've got your T3 is not functioning, your thyroid's not functioning, maybe your numbers are coming out not too bad. Maybe you've had a test and you're like, well, they're a little bit on the lower side, a little bit on the higher side, but nothing too dramatic. That you still can be experiencing difficulty in that system, because it's more about, again, the energy of it. How hard is your body, your organs, your glands working to produce the outcomes that they are getting? It's not only about the outcome. It's like, how hard are you working? Most ladies or men, whoever you are on this call, will automatically know. You can post in chat. If you feel that you have to work really hard, you work very hard because it's very important for you to work in your everyday life. That is going to be one key indicator as to what's happening in your body. So if you're someone who puts a lot of effort, and a lot more effort than those around you, maybe your loved ones, maybe people in your workplace, if that's happening, the same thing's happening inside. That's one key indicator for yourself. But
Wow.
yes, when those hormones, again, your thyroid's not working, there's that effect. You've got adrenal function, you've got liver function, you've got pituitary function affected, hypothalamus function. Some of those are very often overlooked. You've got thymus. Those are all interrelated. Many times you go to the doctor, they say, okay, your thyroid's off, let's get you some thyroid medication. Well, that's nice. It helps some people. But if your real problem is actually rooted in your hypothalamus, it's likely not going to work as well as you would like. It may work to a certain degree, but it may not be working to the level that you need it to. And it will feel and you will experience constant struggle with it. And you may have many multiple medications to help find balance. You may find that it's constantly fluctuating, or just finding that you always experience heavy side effects, and yet you have to kind of live with it because there really isn't another solution. And it's true, they don't really have an easy solution, an easy support for your hypothalamus. It's not easy. They don't really have a way to tap into it, which is why you don't hear people talking about it much. There's not probably a lot of value in talking about something you have no solution for. But that's one area. When it comes to these other hormones, progesterone, pregnenolone, all of those, that affects everything from your heart, which again, kind of like keywords here, heart, usually emotion, usually relationship, usually feeling, how you feeling, stressors, life, heart hormones, almost always overlooked, but it's going to be affecting your heart. It affects your gut microbiome because that's all part of the picture. And of course, most of us are familiar with the female hormones, the sex hormones. We've got all the things that are required to move us through life in a healthy fashion, whether we experience pregnancy or we don't experience pregnancy, doesn't matter. We need to have a healthy balance, but they're all interconnected. Not only that, all the way out into the skin, which is why we notice skin disruption. Our skin produces some of these hormones, such as estrogens, as well. They're all produced throughout your body. One area that is understood on one level, which is weight retention, tissue storage. We understand that there's that correlation between that and hormones. But one thing that people may not realize is that while their estrogen levels may be a little off or maybe seemingly close to normal, your body may be storing high levels of estrogen. These estrogen levels are not picked up on your standard tests. They cannot be tested that way. They don't show up. It's as if they are locked in a storage cabinet. You don't know what's in there. They create toxicity because it's a toxicity. It's a buildup of estrogens in your body because your body is supposed to detox excess estrogens and hormones. When it's not able to, it's locking them up. It's showing up as inflammation, that puffy feeling where you're like, well, I know I'm overweight and I am, but it's kind of a different feeling, right? It seems like it's just puffier. It's not exact fluid retention. It's not like you've got edema exactly. It's just that it's just puffier. And some of those are your hormones that are locked up. Your body is not able to release them. Your cells are not releasing. They're not releasing it. And then there's another issue that comes in. When you are taking in physical hormone replacement therapies, some people, they find great benefit with them. Others find they have a ton of side effects. They don't feel good. They're not getting results. And the reason for that is that the problem most of the time when we are experiencing hormone imbalance is not only that we are not detoxifying, but we are also not receiving those hormone receptors, which is what we cover in this program itself, the hormone receptors and the organs and glands that are covered in this program. The hormone receptors are not able to receive. They are not working right. They're not functioning right. So you're taking these massive amounts of supplements trying to support your body to have what it needs. And it's good in theory, but what's happening is you may end up feeling worse as you're supporting the body, but it actually isn't absorbing it. And now it says, what am I going to do with it? Where am I going to put it? And you're ending up with symptoms, side effects, feeling worse, depression, anxiety, overwhelm, weight gain, inflammation, pain all over the body, fatigue. All of those symptoms are going to show up. Your body has to do something with it, and it's not detoxifying well to even start with, and it's not able to receive it. So the hormone receptors are super, super important. And again, those are things that in standard medical care, they really don't have a way to open those up to release what's happening in there. Energetically, we can go in and release programs. What's the program? What program has been in place that is blocking those receptors from working? Is it mold and fungus? Is it chemicals, toxins? We've just talked about those. Those are going to be present. Is there programs of trauma that close those down and they're not open? There's always going to be some programs, but we do have the ability to open those up to release those. And when they do, the hormone flood comes in, and it's like your body's like, wow, I can receive, I can do what I need to do, I can convert, and now you can begin that detoxification process as well. And at the same time, you will see it in your life. At the same exact moment, it's not a delayed effect. It's not 10 days or 15 days later. If you are paying attention, you will see that the very same moment you start to feel a relaxation in the body, feel a little more lightness in the brain, kind of a calming effect, a reduction of pain and inflammation. The same exact moment you will notice people seem nicer, they seem happier, they seem kinder, more generous, more compassionate. It will all happen at the same time.
That's so fascinating. So probably one of the first places to look is what's going on in our life. Like that's the number one
Yes. Yes.
cue of
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. I saw somebody ask, there's a couple things. Are hormone, I'll give you three and then you can just answer them. Would hormones be causing memory issues? Would they be causing lack of energy? And would they be causing issues with the gut, like whether it's leaky gut or just gut issues in general?
Yes, to every single one of them. Absolutely. I touched on the gut a little bit earlier, but the hormones do help to regulate the gut microbiome. Melatonin, we always think of it as a sleep because we're conditioned to think, it's sleep, and it is. But melatonin is also it's a contributor to your bacterial flora. And when that's lacking or not being produced, you're going to feel, that's just one example of one bacteria that we need and one hormone then that's produced. So people supplement, and they'll also oftentimes notice that when they supplement with melatonin, their gut starts to feel better. So it's like that hormone will create positive bacterial flora in your gut.
Okay.
Now, many of us are also aware that melatonin in the form of supplementation should be used with great caution. It can be pretty upsetting to your system. Ideally, we support the system, your body, to produce the melatonin it needs instead of directly.
So you can do that. You can your body can learn how to create what it needs in all of the.
Absolutely. When we are doing a restorative process, in your pituitary gland, in your pineal gland, in your hypothalamus, those organs and glands start firing again. Those hormones start coming back online, and the production starts again. So we stimulate the organs and glands and the cells within to start working again, start functioning again, and it starts doing what it needs to do.
Very cool. So I'm going to read this. Amy says, I use a low dose melatonin, but still have significant insomnia. And I think, Amy, this is what I was talking about, like before with myself, like, you have these issues. And so you think it might be this and you need this, or you think it might be that and you need that. And it's not actually that. Like I'm assuming Carrie, that there's a lot of things that can cause insomnia with hormonal issues, right? Like, so it's just
Yes.
not the melatonin.
Yes. And personally, I no longer take or recommend melatonin because it can be very destructive to your system if you're taking it and you maybe don't need it. It can really upset that balance inside for a long period of time, up to 6 months. It is known that your pituitary is going to be struggling and your pineal gland is going to be struggling in order to get back to its own natural balance again, especially with children as well. A real note of caution: it can disrupt even their natural growth patterns and
Wow.
cycles and lead to a lot of issues. I know that melatonin is popular. I was told by my pediatrician as well, like, hey, it's super, super, super safe. There's a lot of things. And I utilized it to a certain degree. My own children they ended up with kind of like the reverse, even very low dose. They would end up with night terrors, waking, sleep patterns more disrupted. So then I kind of had phased out of it. I'm like, oh, this doesn't really work for us that well. And then further research, further studies, working and discussing with alternative practitioners and doctors. They're like, that's really it's not something that really should be utilized. There can be a lot more kind of damage or long-term effects that are not beneficial. We need to support the body to produce its own, not do it sort of a direct kind of drop in the system there. So I did see those questions on like how much per day and all those. I personally, again, through discussion with other practitioners, doctors who've been studying these things for 40 years, and they're saying, no, it's really not a good idea to supplement unless perhaps you've gotten, maybe you're working with an alternative practitioner who's very good. And they're like, okay, in your situation, this is what you need, and this is how much you need. But I wouldn't recommend it as a daily supplement. Like, oh, I'm not sleeping good, I'm going to just go with it.
All right.
That's my personal recommendation.
Barbara, this is a great question. Barbara says, does the age matter on returning their function, the hormonal functions? Does age matter, or no matter the age, you can?
No matter the age, you can experience benefits. When it comes to energy, looking at it from the context of our bodies, our electrical bodies, someone who's very young, children, they turn around when we work with them energetically super, super fast, like way fast, just because the processes are so fast. There's less program disruption that's happening most of the time, but they have higher energy. I mean, we see it, right? They're running around like crazy. So they will transition faster. But every age, we're still alive. We've got a beating heart. We've got an electrical system, and it may take a little more time, but it absolutely, there's no limitation on change and support in your body coming, starting to produce again. And it doesn't matter.
Awesome. Patricia, I had this question too. If I'm menopausal and I lost it. I'm menopausal and I get all my hormones working well again, will I get a period again?
Can you repeat that one word? Menopausal.
And I get all my hormones working well again, will I get a period again?
I have not tested that, or like I haven't had anyone come back and tell me that. So if it's happened, they just haven't shared it with me. I have had people who have had dysregulated periods, maybe in perimenopause, and then things start to balance again. If they're in early perimenopause when they shouldn't be, in particular, or if they have, irregular menstrual cycles, those can balance out. That's definitely something that can happen. One thing that does sometimes happen for individuals is sometimes having an experience where there's kind of a blip in their cycle pattern. And they're like, oh, I started the program. Like, what in the world happened? It sometimes seems as though the body does a little reset. Even if you've been you're like, what? I've been normal. I've been balanced. Everything was fine with it. And now I experience this blip in the system, sort of like a little reset button was hit, and you might miss 1 month or go late or something like that. That's something. Yeah.
All right. Good deal. What about extreme sweating? Can that be stopped?
That is very often a part of hormone imbalance. So most of the time, you are going to experience positive relief from that because it is definitely related to hormone imbalance. Also underneath that, if you are experiencing some type of infection, that is also a common contributing factor to night sweats. People don't oftentimes know it. You might not feel sick. You might not know you're really sick. You're not necessarily fevering or whatever. It can come, it's more sort of like a low grade infection. And people will go into these night sweats pattern, and it might start small and it's like more and more. They don't necessarily recognize, like, where's this coming from? I don't really feel unwell. What happened? It can oftentimes be related to infection of some sort, but bearing in mind that there's still that really cause and effect of and relational experience between infection and hormone balance. So
Sweating a lot during the day as well, Linda says.
yeah. So yes, night sweating is not quite the same as a night sweat naturally, but there's almost always those same indicators. Like if you are having even challenges with frequent infection, catching a bug all the time, those are going to be related to hormone imbalances. There's going to be a relationship there. Is going to support your body's ability to fight infection when you kind of reboot or elevate your hormone balance. Your thymus, for example, most adults thymus works at a very low level, and it's not even really considered, it's hardly essential by standard care medicine. Well, why shouldn't it be essential? Why shouldn't it be functioning really, really well and doing really remarkable things for us? Absolutely. It should, and it can.
Yeah.
It absolutely can. So those are some things there.
Nothing created in our bodies by accident, right? Like
no,
they're there for a reason and essential. So that's really,
yeah.
So I want to read this comment, and I see some more comments that came in as well, but I would love to go through. I know you have a group process for us. If we can go through that, and then we'll do scans with audience members. But this comment is, I'm 52 and I'm already 14 years in menopause. It started with an accident. It is starting to weigh heavily on my relationship because since 2 years, I'm having huge pain while having sex because of vaginal dryness. Is this something that can be cured? I don't know what to do anymore, and I want my relationship to last. Something has to happen.
Yes, it absolutely positively can change. That's definitely something that can be turned around. In that situation, I would recommend a session with me so we can really go in and target and find the energy behind it. And I can also give additional recommendations based off of her as an individual. I wouldn't give a recommendation to anyone ever because there's going to be some different things that are there. But yes, definitely.
Perfect. All right. So if you want to tell us the group process that you're going to do, I'll let you take over with that.
Okay, I'm pulling this up here. All right. Group process today. I don't know how it's eluding me right in front of me. Do you have that in front of you, Gretchen? Which process were we doing today with this one?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Let's see. I did have it.
I know, I just had it just in the, I always like to make sure, or, double, triple check to make sure I'm doing the right thing at the right moment.
Okay.
But I am process today.
Understand.
I know.
I want to find it. Experience guided meditation specifically designed to promote and achieve balance within your hormone system. Feel the immediate physical effects on your body as you listen.
Right. I'm going to ask everyone to close your eyes. Sitting up straight. with your body in its natural position, back in its natural curve, head resting evenly on your shoulders, your head and shoulders able to move freely. Feet slightly out in front of you for a little further out beyond where they lay flat on the floor. Placing your hand on your heart, placing your attention on all of your body, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and allow your body to take a few easy, natural breaths and just notice your body. All right, now expand your awareness from your heart center, from the center of your body to the outward edges of your body and beyond, all the way out, beyond where your eyes can see, all around you, beyond the beyond. Stay with it. Connect with the energy of laughter. Feel the energy of laughter in your body. In your gut. Relax. Allow it. Notice it. Now, allow this energy of laughter that is in your body to connect with the group. Just allow. Observe it. Notice it. Connecting with the energy of progesterone, T3, DHEA, and pregnenolone. Allow your body to connect. Relax. Relax your lower back, your hips, your gut. Relax your stomach muscles. Stay with it. Allow the connection. Allow yourself to connect completely with progesterone, T3, DHEA, and pregnenolone. Releasing impatience, agitation. Relax into it. Soften the bones of your hips all the way to the center of your bones, to the very marrow. Soften your bones. Allow that process to happen for you. Now, connect the energies of these hormones. Connect and harmonize, amplify, synchronize to the energy of laughter, harmonize, stay with it and feel the energy moving through your arms, your center, the center of your gut, into your liver, up into your heart. Relax. Harmonize. Up into the throat. Up into the brain. The frequency of laughter, synchronizing the hormones of progesterone, T3, DHEA, and pregnenolone. Now, allow your body to become one with the group, with laughter, with these hormones, to complete synchronization and the harmonization. Relax, allowing your body to receive all things that it needs for this, and to release and give in every way that supports this process. Feel it amplified in your body, your heart, your brain. Feel into this wholeness, this space of singularity. Just one energy of laughter and love. Stay with it just a moment longer. It is complete. It is already done. Stay in the moment. Relax your hips. A little longer. And the experience of gratitude, thankfulness, joy that fills your heart and your body is the communication that is mirrored out into your environment to be reflected back to you as evidence of what is inside you, this energy of laughter, joy, and love. Just a moment longer. Relax your gut. Allow these feelings, sensations to move through you, to be harmonized into wholeness. All right, come back here to me. A lot happening there. Thank you. Take a few moments to kind of come back out of that. There's a lot happening there.
Awesome.
Yeah, just take notice. I want everyone to know, take note of what you felt in your physical body, what thoughts or images perhaps came to you. That is information for you and about you specifically as to what has been contributing to imbalances in these hormones. So feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations, energy moving. You noticed I said a few different times, hips, hip bones, stomach, relax. Many people here automatically tighten their stomach muscles a little bit. We don't really think about it until I say, okay, relax. And I go, that's right. Okay, I guess I did. I guess I was holding that tight a little bit. And then it's like, relax the bones. It's like, how am I supposed to do that? Is there such a thing? Yes, there is. But we have been holding ourselves like that. So I did a few times to kind of bring to your attention what that was happening. But those are the things too that we need to look out for. So
awesome. Well, comments are flying in. I felt tons of tingling, especially at the end on the top of my head, lots and lots of tingling. And I saw somebody else say too that they were smiling. I was smiling too. So that was awesome. I love that. Lots of love, felt joy, felt more peaceful, swirling colors of purple for Francis. Marianne feeling calm, tall, expansive. Barbara said, great. Thank you. Great. Some electricity on the gut and brain. Mandy, eyes water, lots of yawning release. Monica fell asleep. Nicole was who said that she was smiling. At first she was cramping and then it went away. Lynn said, lovely. And I got really hungry during the meditation.
yeah, definitely.
Lynn also asked about, because you did talk about hips, do hormones cause hip pain?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, it's I mean, I maybe to be a little more careful and clear, is it directly cause effect? Maybe not exactly, but there's always these elements that are present. The hormones will definitely drive back pain. There's going to be inflammatory responses that are not managed when your hormones are not in balance. There will be infection. There's underlying parasites, fungus, bacteria. Those, when our hormones are not balanced, there's not a healthy, strong relationship. Just as in life, when there's kind of cracks and there's distresses and disturbances, that is a situation that in essence becomes an invitation for other things to come forward. And all of us probably have thoughts that come to our mind right away in life when your relationships are imbalanced, when there's been a kind of crack in that wholeness. Other things tend to come in and cause even greater problems. The same thing happens in the body. It's when they say opportunistic infection, that's exactly what it is. So you likely, if you are experiencing lots of stuff when it comes to hip pain and inflammation, there's likely a few things going on, infection of some sort being one of them, but hormones is going to be a part of it. Most of us, if you think about it on a super simplistic level, people who have experienced cramping, PMS symptoms, back pain, there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
Makes sense. Perfect sense. All right. Well, lots of hands are raised. I know a lot of you are looking for information for scans, and so the scans that Kari's going to do, she's going to scan you and let you know primarily, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kari, but what hormones are causing the biggest issues where you should focus on. As well as then if you get the program that Kari's created for us, which is a very comprehensive hormonal program. You can take a look at it here so that when she does scans, you can kind of read through. But Carrie, if you could give a recommendation on, because there's a ton of MP3s in there, like which MP3s to start with when you scan, I think that would be pretty helpful for people as well.
Yes, absolutely. So what I will do a kind of a little bit of an adjustment on what you said. I'm going to give them a scan on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being complete disaster and 0 being no problems at all, what level their bodies are being affected by imbalanced hormones.
Okay.
And that will kind of give them a clue as to like how bad off am I of
Okay.
the things that are covered in this program, so they have kind of a direct understanding of how much this program may help them.
Perfect. 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 All right. And I did put the program link there so you guys can kind of go through it as we go through these scans as well. All right. First up is Shaylin, Shalyn. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay, so Shaylin, I'll go ahead and start to scan in case you weren't able to unmute. So the level on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being complete breakdown, 0 being optimal, that imbalanced hormones are impacting your overall health. It's level 7, so 7 out of 10. So there's a significant impact there. And as far as, let's see, Gretchen, you were saying maybe we could talk about which
What to
MP3
start
are
with?
going to be.
There's so many. Yeah.
Yeah, so the MP3s that you will want to spend some extra time on. You're going to want to spend some extra time on the pineal and the hypothalamus. Those are going to be 2 of the MP3s that will support you a lot. Now, I will also suggest, and I will tell every person, no matter what your situation is, doesn't matter, no matter what, follow the order that the MP3s are listed in. Many times people maybe don't believe me, or they think that their situation's a little different. So for them, they might feel that it would be best for them to do it a little bit different. I cannot emphasize enough to follow the order. However, for Shaylin, when you get to those MP3s that I suggested, you kind of stay with those a little bit longer.
Oh, got it.
So instead of, 5 to 7 days, you're going to want to stay with it a little longer, but pay attention to what's happening in your body after 7 days. So you listen to that for 7 days, sit with it, much as we did with this meditation. Sit down and relax and pay attention to what's happening, and notice if you're feeling great, good, it's cleared. If you're like, gosh, I'm still feeling all these things, I'm feeling anger, irritation, agitation, those are no accident. Doesn't matter what you're agitated about, doesn't matter. But if you're feeling, you'll stay with it longer. So that was said for the benefit of everyone, no matter who you are and what your personal circumstance is. Follow the order and the recommendations for which MP3s to listen to. Those are the ones you want to stay with a little bit longer and pay extra attention to, and maybe come back to after you finish the whole listening sequence.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
That's great. Okay, next up is Debbie. You should be able to unmute now, Debbie.
Hello.
Hello, hello. All right. Again, same thing, scale of 0 to 10, the level that your body, your health is experiencing challenges from unbalanced hormones. 8. So with that.
Does that resonate, Debbie?
It made me laugh.
All right,
Like,
we'll take it.
My body is like, Mayday, overboard. Where's the pontoon to grab onto? That's how I feel.
And you definitely will want to book a call with me at that level. And same with Shaylin. I did forget to give you a package recommendation. And Gretchen, do we want to tell people about what we're doing this time with the one-on-one calls, the plan with how many we're doing?
Yeah, there's 20, right? 20 available.
Yeah, so
It's an add-on. So the package is, we'll go over it here in let's just go over it before we do any more scans.
yeah,
Deb, thank you
people know.
for being
Yeah, they
here.
can make their decision. Like, do I want to make that decision now, or do I want to think about it? So you have the opportunity to make that decision with more information.
So let me find it here. All right, here we go. So this is probably the most comprehensive hormone program I've ever seen put together. So thank you, Kari, for this. You guys can kind of go through all of this. There's a lot of education here. There's a lot of stories here from people that have worked through this. Even PCOS cycles regulated. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. So let me get down here I get lost. Sometimes I have ADHD. All right. So here
No
is the
hormone connection there, right?
I know, right?
Nothing to do with it.
Distraction squirrel. All right. 16 MP3s in this very, very comprehensive program. So here we go. So these are the MP3s that Kari will tell you where to start. So Kari, if you kind of want to give a quick overview of what's included here.
Absolutely. Okay. Energetic pathways release. Super, super important. Sometimes people feel a little bit impatient. They're like, I want to get to the really great fun stuff. And does this really help me? Yes, it is. What this is doing is working on the energies in the field around you. It's your connection to the energies and frequencies of hormones, whether they're balanced or imbalanced. We're going to release things that are stopping you, in essence, from going back into balance. That can be traumas, experiences of pain, old hurt. It can be bacterial. It can be fungal. There's tons and tons of other things. Your connections with others, right? Relationships with others, old experiences you've had. So super important. It sets the stage for these other hormones or MP3s as you begin to listen through them. It sets the stage for them to basically be taken in at a better, greater level. Sometimes people will move through this and they find themselves feeling a lot of emotional up and down, and that can happen. So just be aware while you're listening. Sometimes there is, in essence, a detox emotionally, and it can be challenging. So if you're running into that, slow down. Maybe listen just once every other day if you need to. You're not looking to overwhelm. Detox is great when it's managed. Detox when it's not managed is not a good idea for anybody. So just be aware of that. On occasion, it can cause some upset, but don't overlook it. Don't skip it. Stay with it. Move through it completely. All right, next one, the hypothalamus. Here it is, restoring hormone receptors on the cell membrane of the hypothalamus. The hormones are for full function of the hypothalamus, because when the hypothalamus is functioning, it will be producing the hormones that it is supposed to be producing, which will feed into your thyroid hormones, which will feed into the other parts of your body, your sex hormones, even down into the heart. There's innumerable hormones that are produced in the hypothalamus. So when you tap into this, we're going to be focusing on the hormone receptors. There's hormone receptors in the cell membrane and also inside the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum is primarily responsible as well for taking in hormones, the hormone receptors. All right, moving on. Pituitary primer. Pretty much what it says, restoring the pituitary, improved production of HGH. Many of you have long since heard about these. Has been, lots of over probably throughout how many years, Gretchen? 30, 40 years, these things have been talked about. It does do something. It makes a difference. And when your body's doing on its own what it's supposed to be doing, you feel a lot better. You'll definitely notice it. It is not uncommon at all for people who've gone through the program, the hormone program, to actually begin to look younger, because it changes what's happening, not only in the skin, but it's sort of the inner kind of color. Like you were saying, Gretchen, you kind of a flatness and dullness, maybe felt like it came in.
Yeah.
It starts to bring forward just like it's a brightness. that some of that comes from in there. Of course, as well, TSH, thyroid hormones, when those aren't functioning, you're looking at dry skin, kind of that early aging skin. Those are super common because it's your whole body's experiencing that. So once that starts, it's like, wow, there's just a kind of vibrancy, vitality that comes back, of course, internally, but externally as well. All right. Let's see here, thyroid fire starter. Yes, we will be wanting to elevate the function there. So we're restoring the cellular processes within the thyroid. That then, of course, then feeds down into the loop of the rest of your body, sex hormones, down to the thymus. It's a whole looping, adrenals, liver, everything's working together, but we're going to take care of that spot and make sure things are functioning well. People who have gone through this program have been able to eliminate some of the hormones or the thyroid hormones that they've been working with. Things such as hyperthyroid are especially difficult to get relief from naturally. Like it is, as when my client had said, she said her doctor said that it's exceedingly rare. It's basically what you call a miracle because they can't really explain it. She said she didn't tell him, well, she'd done the program, but she had been on 3 medications and 2 of them were removed at that point because things started happening again on their own, which it's very difficult, but it is doable. So, yep, absolutely. If there's anything that you want to add in, I know you will, but go ahead and interrupt as need be. Thymus restore, I talked about that. You know, people are like, common thought is we don't need it. It's no big deal. It doesn't really do anything for us. It was just one of those, reptilian things? Not really sure, right? One of those kinds of ways of looking at it. We don't need it. Yes, we do. It is very important for, yes, immune function, and that includes chronic inflammation conditions, autoimmune conditions, cancers, tumors, all those. This does make a difference when this is functioning well or not. Your thymus must be functioning in order for you to experience a greater level of health, not just maintaining and getting along and getting by. It does have a huge impact. Many people are surprised to find out that their thymus was one of the kind of the root behind why they couldn't get their health turned around. All right. The pineal protector. I'm sure most people already are like, yes, I have a full awareness. This is kind of like where you get all of your intuition and all the great stuff. And 2 things about that. One is when you up level, you restore pineal function. Yes, you do experience clarity in your thoughts, calmness in the brain. You do receive more clear sort of inspiration. Partly it's because your whole entire body is functioning well. When your body's in this sort of upset and life is in an upset, you're not really in a space to receive a whole lot of clear inspiration on any level. There's a lot of confusion and conflict happening. So when this starts to come back on, you will notice not only increased perceptions of truth, not confusion. You will receive greater levels of inspiration and intuition, what we call intuition, but you're really able to tap into information that supports you, that is in alignment with you, sort of like a truth. So you're able to decipher that more clearly. You receive it more easily. At the same time, your body physically is functioning better. So both things are happening at the same time. So it's fun to talk about in the energetic part. So it's like, yay, I'm getting all this cool information. I'm getting dreams and I'm getting all this great stuff. And that's true. But the awareness is also that your physical body is functioning better. All right. Energetic pathways release. We put this in here twice, kind of one for each kind of segment. But what we did, when you buy the package, you will notice there's just one listed now. And we combined them. We brought them together so that there's just one energetic pathway release, and that will cover all of the MP3s, all the hormones that are covered in this program. So you don't have to listen to 2 of them. So we combine those. Again, it's the same thing. Open and clear energetic, mental, emotional pathways that may be contributing to physical blockages and imbalances, particularly related to hormone function. Yes. So what we covered before, there will be one MP3 for this. You'll listen at the beginning. You can go back to it anytime. Don't overlook it. Follow through it. Notice what's happening for you. All right. Progesterone and adrenals. We talked about progesterone being one of the main 4 things you need to be concerned about. It's balance and relationship with other hormones in the body. That's important. So progesterone and adrenals. Adrenals very responsible for many things as well. Cortisol, aldosterone. That's going to be your cellular cleansing. So your body detoxing hormones and other things that it needs to detoxify, and also for energy. Your body produces energy within the cells. And so your cells are able to do the things it needs to do and contribute to the overall physical feeling of energy. So this is what we're doing here, up leveling. You're going to be wanting to pay attention to, are you starting to feel improvements in your physical energy, a reduction in anxiety, because the body is not experiencing so much stress when it's trying so hard. Take note in life. When you feel like you can relax a little more, that you don't have to try quite as hard, that's your cue. Things are working on the inside a little better. All right. Estrogen. Yes, I keep commenting on how estrogen is something we need to be careful or watchful of, the balance that we have. Naturally, it is important. So we do need to ensure that it's being produced in the way it needs to be produced, and it's being converted, and it is being released out into the body in balance. Not too much, not too little. And as talked about before, ensuring that the proper levels maintained throughout your body, not just in your blood work, but ensuring it's not being trapped and kind of stuck and stored in your body. When this starts to change, your body will start to kind of shrink in size. You might not necessarily notice a number of pounds. Most people will notice that the pounds start to shift, but it's as if you feel smaller. I will have people say, well, I feel like I'm smaller, even though the scale doesn't necessarily read it, but I feel like I'm smaller. And yes, you will notice that there's just kind of a change. It's like some of that stuff has been able to be released out.
Nice.
All right, liver and gut. Liver responsible for a million different things. I mean, most of Americans have fatty liver and they don't even know it. That is going to be a huge contributor to that as well. You're going to have insulin issues. You're going to have a detox of hormone, of emotion issues. You're not going to be detoxing those very well. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel overwhelmed when that liver is overwhelmed and it's sluggish and it's fatty and it's not functioning super well. It's not going to be converting the hormones that it needs to. Absolutely. So liver, gut, working on that area, bringing that back online. Of course, pancreas, insulin, I did talk about already a little bit about blood sugar, but it is essential that we have blood sugar balance to have optimal hormone balance. They are directly related and correlate with one another. You got to have both. So we're going to promote that in this MP3 by supporting the pancreas and supporting insulin in every place of the body that it is connected. There are so many things that we don't know. There's so many things standard care medicine doesn't know. There's so many things researchers don't know. I like to always include in this work that we are connecting to even the unknown things. And it is incredible how many things, how much change we can experience in the body when we release that kind of relationship with unknown, unseen, uncertain, misunderstandings. Let it go. Let that release. And all of a sudden, it's like the body and the hormones gives a great big sigh of relief. And it's like, okay, I can just be okay with not having to know all these things or feeling that energy of that discomfort in them. So that's a big one in this area in blood sugar relation, blood sugar, especially insulin sensitivity, is that relationship with uncertainty. All right. Fat. We're addressing hormones produced in the fat, such as leptin. That's just one of them. Again, there's many chemicals, toxins, heavy metals that are also contributing to fat storage and toxicity in the body, contributing to multiple different illnesses, unwellness, those things where it's like you have chronic inflammation, chronic fatigue, don't really know why. There's not an exact answer. Maybe no one's finding out why, and they can't figure out why. There can be a lot of things stored as information, including emotions. I did receive feedback on the beta test that when individuals would go through this fat MP3, they experience an incredible amount of emotional release. Just kind of interesting.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, it's not maybe a surprise after I say it, but they were really surprised. Like, you're always thinking maybe it's the estrogen one, maybe it's going to be progesterone, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And then you're thinking fat. And it's like, I've stored all this in there. Gosh, who knew? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pregnenolone, again, one of the top 4 that we need to pay attention to. Getting this boosted optimally into optimal levels is going to just, again, get that cascade effect into every other process in the body. So foundation of all the steroid hormones. This is going to be a huge one for you. Most people find as they move through this one that they feel a big shift into that deep inner relaxation that happens. Oftentimes I find myself pointing right below the belly button. There's like a line. I find myself drawing my hand across right down there is where it's like the deepest level of kind of anxiety. It's kind of hidden. We oftentimes think, oh, as it rises up the body, we're noticing it, right? Oh my goodness, my head's going crazy, my heart, all these things, I'm going crazy up here. But the really kind of hidden or place where we kind of stuff it down is right down at that level. And all of a sudden, when this pregnenolone starts coming on, there's a correct processing of emotions. Steroid hormones are doing what they're supposed to do. You feel all the way down in the gut this kind of release and relief that you didn't even realize you were having. So keep a lookout for that. That's really cool. Yeah. I experienced it myself. So very good stuff. Am I going too fast, Gretchen? Am I missing anything?
Perfect.
All right. Well, folks, let us know in the chat if you're not keeping up or going too fast or something. All right, testosterone. Again, one of the big 4, key player in blood sugar balance, muscle to fat ratio. It is no accident that as we age, those things start to go the other way. We start losing muscle mass and resilience against infection and disease. One common question I get from women is, well, am I going to get too muscular? Is this going to bulk me up or something like that? The answer is no. And another question is, well, will I, end up having facial hair things coming if I'm getting a lot of testosterone? No, because what it's doing is allowing your body to produce in the balance that it is supposed to produce. This isn't just a kind of an assault of dumping a massive amount of testosterone in your body and saying, "Now deal with it." It's bringing your cells to a space where they can do what they need to do, what they're supposed to do in that correct balance. So yes, super supportive.
Perfect.
Timeline restore. This is one I wanted to bring in because I really enjoy the process. I find for myself and with clients, it's one that's maybe overlooked, but it's this gentle process where it's a connection to your personal timeline. And it's going through and just touching on anywhere along your timeline, there has been an energy or an experience or a frequency, call it what you want, that has impacted yourself in some way, shape, or form that has caused your hormones to shift from wholeness and from balance. That can be anything. Trauma. It can be a perception that you had that potentially was incorrect. We carry a lot of incorrect perceptions No matter how positive we are, we still carry incorrect perceptions. But it doesn't matter what it is. Infection, DNA, disease, lack, doesn't matter. Whenever we have an experience in that way, it can move us from that place of balance hormonally. So we just go along that. It's a gentle process. If there's anyone on this call who has done the timeline restore with me, you can go ahead and post it. But it's a gentle process. It's intended to be peaceful, and it's just supports. All it is doing is supporting those areas where there was kind of that dip or breakdown or that conflict experience, supporting it until it finds its own place again of healing. So it's one that's just, it's a personal favorite for me. So go through it, see how you like it. Give me some great feedback on that. Energetic supplements. You're probably familiar with these if you worked with me before, but this is just where we are bringing in essential nutrients, homeopathic elements, and guided transmissions. I did want to touch on what some of those energetic supplements are. We are bringing in K2, glycine, collagen, CoQ10, PQQ, B vitamins, and niacinamide. These are all known to support your body's natural function. They're not necessarily direct supplements in that way, but they're to support your body to do what it needs to do to do those processes, in particular to mitochondrial function. As we probably know, mitochondrial function is kind of the energy powerhouse of the cells. And as a result, then your cells are able to produce, convert, detoxify. Your body's able to do the same thing. So supporting it at that level. Now moving down to 6 live group sessions. We've got, here we go, some fun ones. Tighten loose skin. Yes. We're going to be touching on that just wherever it comes up, wherever it is for you, whether it's right above the knees, right below the knees, on the neck, behind the arms. This is just releasing programs that have come in that have contributed to information being stored there. When the information is released and allowed to move out, there is change that is allowed to come in. All right, the second call, cravings, appetite, and trauma. It's a little bit self-explanatory, but it's going to support your body to release those cravings programs, things that you're sort of geared toward. Most people with hormone imbalance are going to have sugar cravings for multiple reasons. One is your body's like lacking in energy because there's not a balance. There's not mitochondrial function, all those things. It's not getting what it needs. There's a lack of energy. Your body's looking for a resource to support it at a physical energy level. And another is there's oftentimes that connection with infection. When your body's fighting something, again, it needs more energy. So it's like, oh, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, I need more energy here, something more to work with. So you will find yourself craving high energy sources such as sugar. So that's just one of them. But that's what we're touching on in that one. All right, ideal weight. This is to connect to your ideal weight, not society's ideal weight, not your doctor's suggestion on what your ideal weight is, not necessarily your BMI. It's what is right for you, because it's important that we are all to know that we're all different. We are all sort of made and geared in a slightly different way. One person who perhaps has more muscle mass, more weight overall, their self may be one of those go-getter personalities that does a lot. They're strong, they've got energy, and they're go-getters. Well, they may need that in order to do that. The next one's geared for a different task in this life. So they're just geared different. So we're connecting with that, releasing the junk, the information, all the upsets and the emotions that we've carried that we in connection with thinking that we're at the wrong weight, obsessing about getting to a different look, different body shape, all those things. Release that. Let's get rid of it. It doesn't serve us. All right. Stem cell love. This is exactly this. It's connecting to your stem cells of the hormones in the endocrine system, just bringing them all together, similar to what we did today, where we come into that point of singularity, of oneness, bringing in tremendous amounts of energy and allowing those stem cells to come online again, start functioning again. It's what you want to call a stem cell therapy in energetic form. And I personally think doing this is as effective, but actually a lot more effective than doing it the other way.
Nice.
Faster. Receptor restoration. Hormone receptors on the cell membranes, but not only on the cell membranes, in the cells, the endoplasmic reticulum, which then converts to the Golgi, converting out into the body. So we are going to support and clear off programs or junk off of those receptors. Cellular communication. This is a fun one because communication in the body, communication in life, we need to improve that in the body, and then we can see the change in life. So it is just going to be connecting to communication, building those pathways, opening up the pathways, even the neural pathways. It's building new ones if there's broken ones or ones that have died, or it is supporting a healing process of those that are not functioning optimally. That's what we're doing in the cellular communication.
Perfect.
All right, 90 days of remote healing. We've got this where every week you are going to be receiving the energetic support in this way for all these things here, releasing fears, limiting beliefs and traumas to energetic nutrients, homeopathic medicines. That's the thing that you'll be receiving over the course of the 90 days. Community chat. This has been super fun. What I've done is created a Facebook page, a closed group, and it has turned into a lot of fun. There's a lot of things happening in there once a week. Most weeks, there's been sometimes a few weeks here or there, a couple weeks here or there where we haven't, but I've done a Facebook Live. You can join in, be with it. You can ask questions. I give troubleshooting. I give tips. I give information. And as one person told me after, I think it was a number of weeks, when we were going through, it was a beta test where she said, you've told me this information so many times, such as slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. And she's like, I'm an experienced healer. I know all these, I already know everything. Or she's like, she wasn't trying to be arrogant. She just meant, I heard you, but it didn't quite register that was actually me that you were talking to. Like it was somebody else. And she's like, it's not until going through it. And she was having some trouble. She'd been reaching out, having some upset with it and with the program and reaching out. And then finally she's like, oh my goodness, it finally clicked home with me after about the 10 millionth time of you saying the same thing over and over. She's like, it is true. If you're starting off from a level of greater imbalance, you must pace yourself, go slow. Again, detox is great when it's managed. It is not supportive to the body if you're overwhelmed. It doesn't help you. So there's information anyway in that Facebook group that I don't cover here. I don't cover on all the live calls because I can't, but it's an opportunity for you to ask questions and get more support as needed. And we do additional transmissions there. All right, bonus, letting light ignite. This is bringing extra light into the body, and that light by itself releasing out any dim, dark energies that are destructive. So this light coming in and feeling that experience of peacefulness radiate from within. Thyroid, this is a fun one. Most people love this one. T3, again, one of the top 4 hormones that you need to be concerned about. Response for metabolism, energy levels, overall well-being. You can listen to this at any time throughout the program. It's just a bonus. It can be added in. It does not have to be on that kind of the schedule, if you want to call it that, but you can listen to it throughout. And again, pay attention as you're listening to notice what's happening in your body. if you know that you have an endocrine problem, you know you've got a thyroid problem, you know you've got problems in your ovaries, maybe you've got PCOS, a few things like that. Pay attention when you're listening, see what's happening. If you notice nothing, absolutely nothing, stillness, nothing. I would say so much nothing that you're annoyed because it's nothing and it's did nothing for me. If you feel yourself saying that or thinking that, listen for a week before you choose to not listen again. It just tells you that your body is at kind of a stalemate there. There's like not much happening. It takes a little more time to get things rolling.
Wow, that's cool. Good advice.
Yes. All right. Parathyroid, often not talked about very much, but it is essential for the other processes in your body, posture improvement, feeling of strength in your teeth and bones. This is going to be essential for those that have any bone dis-ease or dysfunction. You definitely will want to use this. I would listen to this one if I was someone who has scoliosis, osteoporosis, spinal stenosis, you've had Perthes, you've got any of those bone things, listen to this daily throughout because it takes time. Bones are slower to regenerate in certain ways, but it can definitely make a difference for you to get this parathyroid doing what it needs to do, because it's never just an individual thing, right? If you've got some problem, say in your bone, it's not just the bone by itself, right? Not unless, maybe got it broken off or cut off or something, but not really, they're not independent. The systems are interrelated. All right, that felt maybe like a little bit of a marathon. So hopefully everyone is feeling like they made it through to the finish line. Let us know if you were
guys. It's a very comprehensive program. Kari has put everything in here to help with your hormonal health. And also there is, as you can see, there is the add-on at checkout. There's only 20 sessions available, 30-minute one-on-one private session with Kari. They are only $97. So you can add that on to your program, but there's only 20. When they're done, they're done. So just want to let you know the price, it's $297 for this very comprehensive hormonal program. And there's also a payment plan available to pay, so you can do that as well. So there you have it with the program. And I'm glad we went over it because it makes sense now. When we do some scans, people will understand what the heck you're talking about. So I think that makes perfect sense. How long are the MP3s and the bonuses? Do you have like a timeline? Like how an average? Are they 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
They're right in that anywhere from around 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like that. That's a common time frame for the listing on those. A couple more things I do want to say, and I will say again and again and again and again. If you have significant hormone imbalances and you've had them for a long time, do not rush through the program. One of the main energies we are working to release is the energy of impatience. And if you experience impatience in your life, give me a thumbs up or post in chat, because almost every person who has struggled with hormones has felt a level of impatience in their day-to-day life. It's something that they find that they need to rein themselves in on. They need to kind of take a deep breath. The familiar, it's like, oh my goodness, I get a little impatient and I get a little frustrated and I'm kind of pulling back. I'm reining that back in so I don't get so angry, because I don't like to be angry because I'm prone to getting quickly fired up. That's going to be the energies we're working with. We want to be patient because we're releasing impatient. We want to be, allow instead of push. Most people experience a slight push energy. When you experience dominant hormones in your body, you are going to be somewhat of a dominant type person in your life. And no, it doesn't feel good when people tell you that you're pushy or you're aggressive or you're too much, or you're just, you know, what, fill in the blank, right? It doesn't feel good. But when we are experiencing hormonal dominance, we definitely will be one who is going to have that element in our life. So be patient, relax, allow it. If you cannot sit down through the 10 to 15, max of 20-minute MP3 because it's driving you crazy, it's just information. The MP3 is working. The silent meditation that's in there is working. It's doing something. Take some deep breaths. If you need, certainly for the first few times, go about your daily tasks, wash the dishes, do the floor, whatever, it's okay. But at the end of that time frame, end of the week, at least sit and see what's happening. Because that's your way of knowing how things are going for you. Maybe listen at the beginning, listen at the end. Notice what's happening. You probably will need to write it down. Most people skip that part. But if you really want to get super good results, don't skip that part. You need to be able to see what's happening. Watch what's happening in life. Oftentimes you write down what you wrote and you're totally shocked. Like, oh, actually that changed. I didn't even realize. Like I actually wrote that. I didn't even remember writing that. Just a few notes. I don't care if it's 3 words. It's more than nothing. But notice what's happening. That is your barometer for what's changing in your body. If nothing's changing at all, we need to be on a call because the program works. There's going to be something else that's interfering if nothing's changing. So it's important for you to have some information when we talk. If you're running into a problem, come into the Facebook group. You can ask those questions. We need to be able to have some information. What's happening? How's the listening pattern going? What's happening while you're listening? What's happening in life? So take note, be aware. It's a huge part of success is being aware. So
Love that support group that you created. That's a great addition. I think that's awesome. So a couple questions here. Rosemary is asking, is this program for men and women?
Yes.
And so I have a follow-up question with that, Kari. Would you be open to if we have an additional add-on added for a loved one so that they, of course, they'll share the MP3s, but if they want to be included in the remote healing and the group calls that they can add them on?
Yes. Okay. I think that's a really good idea. As a matter of fact, let's just put this right out in the open. A lot of times, not everyone, but a lot of times when there's certain types of hormone imbalances, we're having relationship challenges at the same time. And it's really tough sometimes to think that you're in a space of love enough where you're even wanting to worry about somebody else in the moment, right? You're thinking, right about now, I'm not real concerned with what they got going on. They can figure out their own problems, right? But when it comes to yourself and hormone imbalances and relationship life, if you can support those others that you have those close connections with, a lot of unspoken communication, a lot of spoken communication on every level. If you support both, it's actually supporting you double. So even if you're in a space, you're like, my relationship is in complete meltdown. Like we're in extreme meltdown. Look at it as saying, if I support me and I support that energy over there, I'm actually going to be mirroring and receiving like a double flow.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I did see somebody too talking about they're in perimenopause and their daughter was in puberty. So this would definitely be a good thing for that.
They're almost always connected. I hear that all the time too. Mom's got something, child's got something.
Yep.
Along the same time.
All right. Margot says, I had breast cancer in 2015 and it returned in 2020. So I've been on hormone suppressing medications twice and I'm supposed to stay on them for another few years. I'm 67 years old. Can I balance the hormones in my body while still taking this suppressing medication? I love everything you've been talking about today. Thank you.
Yes. And what happens is you're absolutely do that. Stay with what you've got going on. Stay with what you're wanting to do, your hormone supplements, medications. Your body will let you know, whether it's through blood work when you go back to your doctor for a checkup, whether it's first, there'll be some change and you're like, I need to go see what's going on here. I'm feeling like this is feeling a little strange in my body right now. Your body will let you know. You will not accidentally not find out that when it's time to make a change. You will find out. So be totally okay with it. Be happy with it. Say, great. Everything's coming together at the same time. The medications are working better while I'm getting better. And then it's all up leveling to a really fabulous place. Yep, absolutely.
All right, Margaret, you're up next. I see you typed in a question and you also want to scan, so you're unmuted. But Margaret, while she's unmuting, asked, what is the protocol? A different MP3 each day, each week, or?
Yes, one MP3 for 5 to 7 days. And then you rotate to the next one. And you rotate to the next one. You're muted, Gretchen.
In the order that they are
In the order. In the order. Yep.
All right, Margaret, you're up.
I tried to unmute.
Got it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I would like a scan, please. Just to say that I am 84 and thinking about things. I must have had imbalances better part of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? How even if we don't know it on kind of a external level, maybe we haven't had blood tests done or whatever, when you kind of sense into what the energies are, what life is doing and how we're feeling, it's like, no doubt there's some kind of imbalances there. But anyway, here's your scan, Margaret. Again, a scale of 0 to 10. What level are imbalanced hormones affecting your health? It's about a 7 to 8. So it's right in between that 7 to 8. That's coming up right from the gut up into the heart center, by the way, for you. That is going to be a package C. And
there's only one package. So you mean with
sorry. Yeah, the add-on. I know. Pardon me.
Yes.
I'll just say that a few more times, I'm sure. But anyway, you can get the add-on is a great choice. Quite honestly, most people are going to have or to benefit from the add-on. I can tell most people, if you're here on this call today, most people are going to benefit from an add-on because there is a tremendous amount of hormone balance across the globe right now. It isn't, even if we've had them for years, right now there is an amplification of hormone imbalance, men and women. So even if you said we're doing okay, it is likely that in these last several months, you've experienced some change.
Is there an area where Margaret should focus on or pause with the MP3s?
Yes. Margaret, the energetic pathways release, which is the first one, is going to be a big support for you. I'm feeling that down in the adrenals. So spend a little extra time, pay extra careful attention to that one. That's going to be a huge benefit from you or for you. I would say just that's your most, kind of the one that calls out to you the most, and then follow through with the rest. I think they're going to uptake in your body really well after that.
Awesome. Thank you for joining, Margaret.
Thank you.
Sorry, I unmuted or I muted you too quickly. Thank you, Margaret. All right, next up, Alice. You should be able to unmute, Alice.
Hello.
Hello, Alice.
So, Kari, can you do a quick scan on my hormones? I'm 70. So yes, the severe dry skin, I take collagen, I take supplements, only because as a vegetarian, I want to make sure I get my B's and C's. And I think a few of the items that Kari mentioned, I'm taking K2B1 because another healer said those were essential. Of course, the one for memory, the ginkgo biloba. But I guess my other question besides the scan, Kari, I've always been a chronic night owl. I've been trying, I just have more energy at night, and because my school studies always kept me up late. But I noticed even as a young child, my mother would drag me up to take, when she had to go to work and I had to go to babysitting. I'm trying to reverse that. I try to get myself to bed earlier, but it's just that my energy levels seem higher in the evening. I'm more alert, and I don't want to go to bed. It's like someone said to me at work, "You're like a little kid. You just want to stay up and not go to bed." And I want to get going in the morning, listen to the talks at 8 o'clock and move on, even though I'm 70, just get going. And I can't seem to reverse my circadian rhythm. So I'm just wondering if it's just something from past life or my hormones. I'm trying desperately hard to change that cycle.
Okay. All right. To start off with, your number's coming up at an 8. So
That's bad.
that means that your body is quite impacted by imbalanced hormones on some level.
Okay.
In regards to the sleep, that is more related. I shouldn't say more related. It's affected primarily by organ and gland imbalance versus just hormone imbalance. So
Organ and gland imbalance. Okay.
yeah, so this program will help with the sleep. You will do best to buy an add-on where we connect directly to the organs and glands that are contributing to your sleep cycle. That will be a big benefit.
Okay. So because I knew as a young child, I just couldn't, my mother would drag me up and feed me, and I'm just like half asleep. And that's pretty young. That means I was already imbalanced because, our hormones as a young child are different than as adults.
So even things such as an underlying subclinical urinary tract infection. You can have subclinical bacterial infections in your bowels that are going to have a connection again with hormones in there, but you can have subclinical things that don't really manifest outwardly where you've like got a disease, you got a significant problem, but they're enough to offset your body. If you've heard about, things such as when your organs and glands sort of reset during your sleep cycle, those kinds of things, there is something to it. And your different systems and organs and glands become activated when they're trying to heal or reboot during those cycles. And that can be what causes those awake times. So again, the best way for us to connect to which organs and glands are in that kind of that cycle or the pattern of wanting to heal or release. Want to connect on one-on-one, and we can
that'll help with the memory as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on many parts of the brain here. Absolutely. That will definitely help out.
Okay, so you're recommending the one-on-one on top of the
I do
programming.
Yeah,
okay,
I do.
And this is like, you think maybe fixable, or not fixable, but at least improved?
Are you talking about the sleep, or are you talking about the hormones?
Oh, I guess everything, because I seem to lack energy.
Yes, the answer is that both of those can be changed, and they both definitely can be improved. I have worked with many people over the age of 80 who've had dementia. They've had significant chronic fatigue for 40, 50 years, and it is absolutely something that can be totally changed. It's not too late. If you're alive, there is a possibility for you to change. Even if certain parts of your body are literally removed or dead tissues, we can work with those things to take care of the energies that are behind it to allow a healing process to come back in.
Of course, it always helps to have good, solid 7 hours of sleep. I always don't get enough sleep, even though I'm retired. And that's always been a big struggle. I can't.
Yes.
Your hormones, if you've had issues for as long as you say, that could definitely play a role in that, I would think, right, Kari?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You sound so young, Alice. I would have never, as many times as we've talked, I never would have thought that you were retired and in your 70s. So you sound very young.
Well, when I was even working and I only had 6 hours of sleep, 6.5 hours of sleep, maybe I was running on adrenaline, and that's not good for my body. But I always had a lot of energy when I got to work, even though I was sleep deprived, and even now. But I'm not an early morning person. Even though I get up early and I can listen and function, I'm not like going at full speed, but my body picks up more energy when it gets closer to noon. Then I get going, then I can get whatever I want done. But anyway, thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You. Awesome. All right. Next up, McCovey. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, but you should have a button to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Gretchen.
How do I say your name?
Mikobe.
McCovey. Welcome. You're on with Kari.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you, Kari. So really, yeah, so I'm on menopause already. And lately my skin has been very dry and dull. Yeah, and I can't seem to get it to glow. And yeah, and most of the time I'm bloated.
Yeah, absolutely. Very common, of course, with hormone imbalances. Your reading, your scan comes in showing you at a 7.
Okay.
Which makes sense when you're already expressing the symptoms that you do have. Again, 7 to 10, any of those, a one-on-one is really going to be your best fit, the best way to really get in there and figure out what's all going on. Now, along with that, taking a look at which MP3s are going to support you, or ones that you're going to want to take a little extra time with and pay attention to.
Great. Okay.
The pituitary MP3 is one you're going to want to pay special attention to. And along with that, progesterone and adrenals.
Okay.
That one is a big one for you. Fat. That one's coming as well. So those are the 3 that you can pay special attention to. I explained before, but just sit with it once, sit and relax, ideally every time. But if you can't, just enough to get the information of how you're feeling. And then at the end of a week, notice what's happening again. So if you need to continue forward, you'll have that information for yourself.
Great. Thank you. Can we please repeat the second one?
Progesterone? Was that?
Progesterone and adrenals. Progesterone and adrenals.
Progesterone. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Margaret wrote in that she has a session booked with you later this week for dental. Should she book a second one to focus on hormones?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
That'll be excellent to get the dental part done, clear out those things. We'll get that dental one done. And then as she's moving into the next place, it'll be a really nice flow.
All right. Cool. All right. We're going to do one more scan. I know there's lots more hands up. However, we're already 2 hours in. So let's talk to Barbara next, and we'll then try to bring Kari back for additional scans at some point. But there you go, Barbara.
Hey, Kari, how are you today?
Hello, wonderful.
We're getting wonderful too. My question to you is that after you have a scan on me, could you please tell me what I need to do?
Sure. And can you be a little bit more specific? Like, what do you mean by what I need to do?
As far as just following your advice.
Oh, okay. As far as the listening sequence.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm getting your number coming in at a 6. So there's some room to work with there, or, some things that we can work on, I should say there. The MP3s that you can focus on a little more that will support you. Let's see, I'm going to move through them, sensing into them. Pituitary primer. thymus restore, pancreas, and insulin. Those are going to be the top 3 for you.
Pancreas, and I'm sorry,
And insulin.
insulin. Now I'm gonna ask about this insulin. I'm not diabetic or something, or diabetic at all. Does it mean anything?
No, I mean, there's part of it is we put titles to these MP3s so people can have an awareness of potentially what it might be working on or supporting them with. The pancreas also carries or stores a lot of information when it comes to old traumas.
Yes,
And
okay.
that can be why that's coming up for you. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Yeah. That's one area that is not often talked about in energy work either. And of course, not standard care medicine, but definitely there's a huge impact in that area of the body when there has been unresolved emotional traumas or experienced traumatic experiences. And usually those are stemming from childhood. Then get kind of reignited again throughout life a few times. Oftentimes hurt, separation, and the feeling of being unwanted. So if that resonates with you, then you'll know this is a really great fit.
2 of them, yes.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks, Barbara, for joining.
Thank you, Kari, and thank you, Gretchen.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Do they play the MP3 several times a day, or is one time a day enough?
Start with 1 time a day. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention what's happening in your environment, especially. If you feel things are kind of amping up, you're feeling irritation to a greater level, agitation, or here's a key one. Most people don't recognize it. If you're feeling a greater level of like nothing, like a feeling of nothing, nothing happening, nothing's changing. It's literally, that's what comes to your mind. Like, oh, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I would say you can slow down, go every other day. If you are in that nothing happening mode, or even today on the call, if you're someone who was like, okay, I'm following along with this, but I don't really feel anything. Like I don't notice anything. I'm not connecting. It's in essence a disconnect. That means there's a greater level in some way, shape, or form. There's a greater level of imbalance that needs to get worked on. Go slower because it will be gentler. You'll be more supportive. Hormones are not a thing to be pressing and pushing. It's really uncomfortable. We went through the beta test. I go through the beta test myself. So I can tell you what happens. Going faster, pushing harder. Like I had more than one person telling me, oh, it's not really, maybe working quite the right way. And I'm like, and why not? And finally finding, oh, they're playing the whole sequence, all night long. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to help you. You're just sticking your finger in the light socket. Your hair is standing on end. It's not going to help you. So that's what happened there.
That makes perfect sense. And so, and for me, that's really hard to bring it back, but Kari knows what she's talking about. So pay attention to how
it is hard. It's really hard. It really, truly is.
I really want to work on. It's right there, number 7.
Yes, it is. It's funny how hard it is.
Yeah.
It really tells you information about the energy we're working with, but it is surprisingly difficult. I would say in the hormone program, more than any other program, I had people breaking the rules. They couldn't believe me. They just couldn't be with it. It's like, I'm like, but it's the energy. So that's why I said, I am a broken record on it. And I thought that people were gonna take me out if I said these things one more time, but I realized I will just keep saying them. I have to.
For me, you would have to as well, because yeah, it's like, and it goes back to the P word, whoever wrote the P word, the procrastinate, or the push. The push.
Yeah. Yes.
Cheryl's asking, does it help with excess urination?
It may, but that's something you would want that one-on-one call with me.
Yeah.
Because that can be coming from so many different sources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, we're over 2 hours officially. So thank you all for being here. This is, like I said, Kari, the most comprehensive program I've ever seen for hormones. I mean, it really covers everything and everything in between. So thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. It is.
Putting this
It
together.
is longer. It's more in depth, but at the same time, it is going to be more supportive. You know, come along for the ride with it, move through it. I really think you're going to find some pretty incredible changes. Other people have as well, but this being this longer length of time and adding in some of those extra Facebook lives and things like that, it is absolutely it's really transformative. So if you're in, could join the ride. I will say, if you know that you are someone who in this situation wants to buy it and wants to get better, but you don't feel like you're in that space of, I'm going to do this. If it's the last thing I do, I will succeed in this program. Really consider whether or not it's the right program for you. In order to overcome this level of imbalance, because it's powerful, it affects our life. It's every single part of us, in, on, and around ourselves and our life. It's very powerful. And if you kind of take that passive approach, like I'm going to move, in essence, what you're doing is you're moving away. You're kind of going, I hope it works for me. And maybe those remote transmissions and those live calls are going to do the trick, right? You're kind of doing that. It will help you, but on a minimal level. And so consider if it's the right fit. But if you're like, hey, I've worked with this issue for so many years, what do I have left to do? I'm ready for the great reset called health and life, and in a good way.
Yes.
No matter what it takes, I'm invested. I'm going to take advantage of the Facebook Lives. I'm going to do those things. If you are, please join the program. You will be an asset to yourself, because that decision that you made and that commitment inside is the first thing that changed. The energy has changed. You've already eliminated one of the biggest blocks.
I love that.
Absolutely. So
Anushka, I know I'm saying your name wrong. I see that you bought in the session. I'm so happy for you. And she gives a big yes to what you just said. So thank you for that. Thank you, guys, for your questions, for your engagement. That makes these calls so much fun for us, for Kari and I, to really, to really know that you're understanding what we're talking about and that you're part of it. So I really, really appreciate you guys and love having your energy here. So thank you for that. Kari, thank you for being here. It really was a great call. I've learned so much, and have, just from the skin issues itself, and just, like kind of what's out there energetically, it was really fascinating to me to learn that, because the timing, and I saw for a lot of other people too, is spot on. So really, really good stuff. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. It was a joy. And as all of us know, we feel each other, we sense each other, and we sense the experience. And so it was a joy to be together energetically with everyone, even if I wouldn't see everyone's faces, but you could feel it. It makes for a great experience, a great time, a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be talking to you soon. Kari, thank you again so much for being here.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks.